The Vivo X60 Pro Plus is a flagship device from Vivo, including a Snapdragon 888. The Poco F3 features a Snapdragon 870, kind of the 865 Plus. So how does an 870 compare to an 888? Poco versus Vivo? Well, let's find out. And so we have the Poco F3 with the Snapdragon 870 on the left-hand side. We have the Vivo X60 Pro Plus with the Snapdragon 888 on the right-hand side. So the 870 is kind of the previous generation technology, but tweaked to higher clock speeds. The 888 is the newer generation of CPU and GPU. So it'll be interesting to see how the two compare. If everything is as it should be on paper, we expect the Vivo X60 Pro Plus to win, but the question is by how much? And as I'm saying that, we are just going into the 16 thread test. The Vivo X60 Pro Plus was the first into the 16 thread test, so it has a slight lead over the Poco F3 at the moment. Both of these, of course, octa-core processors, as the Vivo X60 Pro Plus with the Snapdragon 888 has now gone into the blur test, which was the beginning of the mixed CPU GPU part of SpeedTest G. Coming up in a moment is the smoke particle test, when we'll look at the 2D graphics. What's that going to be? Here it goes. Starts now on the right hand side. Let's see what the number we get from the Vivo X60 Pro Plus. 26 frames a second. Let's see, 29 frames a second. So better by the Poco F3 there. The Snapdragon 870 certainly doing very well. As we go into the Unity test, I think the Vivo was the first into that. Really got a kind of a head start there. Bit of a black screen there on the left hand side. Let's see. Now we go into the Unreal test, and the Unreal test now on the left hand side. So it's a race to the end of the path, but I think the X60 is going to win. Let's see what the time is. Here we go. They go 1 minute 20.5 and then 1 minute 22.2. Okay, let's break down the scores and see exactly what happened. So as we saw, there a win by the X60 Pro Plus with the Snapdragon 888, 1 minute 20.5, and then the Poco F3 came in 1.7 seconds later with 122.2. So what happened? Well, CPU 36.6 versus 34.4, so that's a difference of 2.2 seconds in favor of the Snapdragon 888. So clearly the latest CPU design is better than the previous one, even if the previous one is clocked at a slightly higher clock rate. When we get to the mixed CPU GPU, all things have changed here a bit. 21.1 versus 21.6, so that's in favor of the Poco F3. And of course we saw there the higher frame rate in the 2D smoke particle test. And then when we get to the GPU, look at that, exactly the same, 24.4 versus 24.4. So it looks like the 870 is certainly very good at graphics, good at the 2D stuff, and CPU is definitely better in the Snapdragon 888. But overall, the X60 Pro Plus won 1 minute 20.5. My name is Gary Sims, this is SpeedTest G. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do give it a thumbs up. Probably best not to rely on the recommendation algorithm. Maybe you wouldn't have seen this video, so instead, why not subscribe and then hit that bell notification icon? Okay, that's it. I'll see you in the next one.